In Asia, wow. Let's say, I don't know, 20, 30, I'm not sure really. A bunch of times in Kuala Lumpur, a couple of times in Singapore, a few times in Tokyo. Yeah, here a couple of times. Yeah, probably all up, maybe 20, I guess. Yeah, China a bunch of times. All over really. Well, I'm kind of quite interested to see Jakarta finally, because although I played in Jakarta like 6 years ago now, it wasn't actually in the city. I played kind of outside Antoy in the kind of big beach area, and I did not even see a brick of the city. So I really enjoyed kind of coming into town and just seeing, you know, the reality of being here. And it's kind of got a lot of things I like in a city. It's kind of it's a little bit sort of chaotic. There's that sort of feeling it might kind of, things could happen anytime. It's a bit kind of, but it's not like, it's not full madness. And so it's kind of, you know, it's enjoyably chaotic. For the actual set tonight, I'm currently, I'm not sure how well Latin techno works in Indonesia, but tonight's the night we all find out, because I'm currently enjoying quite a lot of sort of Latino techno from sort of South America. And it's got a real good sort of wiggle thing, and I'm thinking that could make sense here. So we're going to find out what Indonesians think of Latino techno. To be honest, I mean, I'm probably going to sound really sort of like lazy here, but I don't really keep track of where things are from anymore. The sort of sound of kind of dance music doesn't really feel that regional anymore. I think sort of everybody hears everybody else's music, you know, a minute after it's finished it goes on SoundCloud and the whole world hears it at once. And obviously some places still have like a particular sound, like, you know, there's obviously, you know, the Germans have, you know, this very heavy techno leaning, and they'll always have it, and, you know, and sort of, you know, the Australians have a kind of quite a love of that sort of big, you know, vocal thing, which is, you know, at the core of the electro house thing. It's not there, obviously it's not that anymore, but I think really overall people are tapping into the same sort of sounds and styles globally. So I don't really have a strong awareness of any sort of area as opposed to another area. It's just like, it's just music. It all comes in. I listen to as much as I can and I go, that's good, that's bad, that's good. I don't really mind who it's come from or where. It's cool. What is King Unique? 5 words. Wow. King Unique is almost undescribable. There we go. I'm a software guy, I always have been. King Unique used to be myself and my partner Matthew Roberts in the old days. And he had been a vinyl DJ and then a CD DJ years before I even really kind of, you know, became involved in the dance scene. I was from a different background originally. My personal sort of history was much more from bands and guitar stuff. I spent years in Liverpool working, recording, that sort of thing. So when we came to DJing together, really I could start trying to catch him up with like a 15-year head start on the kind of physical stuff. Or we could say, well, you've got that covered. And I'm a really good studio guy, so I'll take the studio ideas and the studio technology and the software and bring that into booths. And when we first started, it was 2001. Nobody used laptops, nobody. If you walked into a club, as we did, and took a laptop out, half the club went, wow, 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 wow. And there'd be like sort of like 10 guys that come to the front and go, and stare like, and they wouldn't move for like half an hour, just going, and then like you do something and they'd go. So yeah, I've always loved bringing kind of technology into the booth, because now it's more common, but if you still bring the right toys, people still go, oh, did you see? So that's the thing to do, is bring toys they don't know. That's my top tip for all DJs. Okay, it's such a tricky one. Basically, I've been doing this long enough to have spent some years doing this when people still bought music. And so I remember the very painful 3 years where it changed from people buying music to people not buying music. And it was painful, really was. It was kind of like, it was like spending your whole life learning to be a coal miner. And then somebody says, yeah, you know, coal used to cost like £10 a sack. Now it costs 10p a sack. So, but carry on working, you'll love it. That was kind of a hard thing to get past, really. So yeah, it's very hard from a purely kind of professional point of view. Damn you, downloaders! But the world always changes. The last 40 years, musicians have been paid better than at any other time in the whole of world history. 400 years ago, if you were a good musician, a fantastic musician who knew every song and could play everything, you'd come into a town, play for 4 hours, and they would feed you and kick you out in the morning. They wouldn't buy you a yacht and give you a huge house and give you thousands of pounds. They'd give you dinner and you'd go home. And I think we're heading back to musicians just getting given their dinner and sent home again. Whether it's a good or a bad thing, I don't know, but mainly in history, musicians have not been paid millions of pounds. It was a strange thing that happened, and I think it's finished. So that's it. I like to have this watch. It's a very groovy watch, Japanese one. 1 second, we'll do the... Woo! Oh yeah, cool. Oh yeah! Woohoo! Yeah, I like to wear that because I like it. So that's one thing. When I go a long way away, I generally have to sleep on planes. I have a woolly hat. Anybody who travels and has to sleep on a plane, get a woolly hat. And when it's sleep time, just go, pull it down to here, okay? Much better than iPads. Pull your hat down. That's 2 things. 3 things. 4 things. Music. And 5 things. People to talk to before the gig. Because I hate coming somewhere and standing around quietly in a corner going, and then play, party. It's like, what? So I like meeting people before the gig and having a chat and just relaxing and realizing you're in Jakarta or you're in Tokyo or you're in Budapest and realizing where you are. And then with those 5 things, I normally have a good gig. Oh, iPod, iPhone, everything. Yeah, I'm again so old that I remember when there was a time when Apple Mac was better for music. It really was. But this is like 10 years ago. About 4 or 5 years ago, it stopped mattering. All computers are better than any of us need now. Most of us don't use even that much of our computers. So really, the whole argument about who uses Mac or PC, couldn't care less. They all work fine. Macs are kind of easy, PCs are cheap, whatever. Whether you want cheap, get PC, you want easy, get a Mac. But because I've always had Macs, I just keep buying Macs. But I don't think they're any better or any worse. They're my flavour of computer. But if your flavour's BlackBerry or PC, well, great. They're all good. Hello, this is King Unique from the United Kingdom, and you're watching Dance Signal.